The large screen in the United Nations Hall showed a ship unlike any built by human hands. It moved slowly toward Earth, its metal skin gleaming in the sunlight. Everyone in the room held their breath. Han Juwu fixed his tie and took a deep breath. As Earth's head diplomat, he had practiced for this moment for months. But how could anyone truly prepare to meet aliens? "It's really happening," said Park Do-yeon, standing tall in his admiral's uniform. His hand rested on his gun, though he knew it would be useless if the aliens wanted war. Han nodded. "After all our years looking at the stars, they found us first." The ship had appeared 7 days ago, sending a simple message in perfect English: "We come in peace." Since then, world leaders had been in constant meetings, trying to decide how to respond. "I don't trust them," Park said quietly. "No one travels across stars just to say hello." Han sighed. His friend was always suspicious. "We need to give them a chance. This could be the greatest moment in human history." The screen changed to show the inside of the alien ship. A tall, reptile-like creature stood in the center. Its scales were green-blue, and its yellow eyes blinked slowly. "I am Supreme Delegate Ixer of the Galactic Council," it said in a deep voice. "We represent 17 advanced species who wish to welcome humanity to the galactic community." People in the room clapped politely, though Han could feel their fear. "We have watched your kind for some time," Ixer continued. "You have potential. Though you are still young as a species, we offer you protected status under Council law." Han stepped forward. "Thank you, Supreme Delegate. I am Han Juwu, speaking for Earth. What does protected status mean?" Ixer's mouth formed what might have been a smile. "It means safety, guidance. We will share some technology and protect you from dangerous species. In return, we ask for certain resources and your cooperation." In a small lab across the city, Kim Neri watched the broadcast while working on strange metal pieces from a crashed alien scout ship found 3 months ago. The government had kept it secret, asking her to study it. "They're lying," she whispered to herself. Her computer showed patterns in the alien speech that suggested deception. She picked up her phone. Back in the hall, Han's phone buzzed. He glanced at the message from Kim. "Don't terrorize to them. Detecting deception. Need time." Han kept his face calm. "This is a big decision, Supreme Delegate. We need time to consider your generous offer." Ixer's eyes narrowed. "Of course. We will send representatives tomorrow to discuss details. We look forward to a long relationship with your species." The screen went black. As the room erupted in excited talk, Park pulled Han aside. "Intelligence just decoded some of their ship's transmissions," he whispered. "They call us resource-rich and simple-minded. They've done this before to other worlds." Han felt cold. What happened to those worlds? They became mining colonies. Their people became workers. The Council took what they wanted and gave little in return. Later that night, Han, Park, and Kim met in a secure room deep under the city. "The ship pieces tell a different story than their words," Kim explained, showing them her findings. "Their technology is advanced, but it follows patterns we can understand, and there are weaknesses we could exploit. So they see us as easy targets," Han said. Park nodded grimly. "Yes, but they don't know what humans are capable of when threatened." Han looked at the star map on the wall, now with a mark showing the alien ship. "Tomorrow we welcome them with smiles," he said, "but we'll be ready for whatever they really want." As dawn broke over the city, more alien ships appeared in the sky. The day of humanity's greatest test had begun. The Grand Hall of the United Nations building in New Seoul sparkled with lights. Alien delegates stood among humans, their strange forms causing many to stare. Han Juwu moved through the crowd with a practiced smile, though his stomach felt tight with worry. Supreme Delegate Ixer towered over everyone. His scales shimmered as he spoke to world leaders. "The Council is pleased by your welcome. Once you accept our protection, your lives will improve greatly." Han approached and bowed slightly. We are honored by your visit, but I have questions about this protection. Ixer's yellow eyes blinked slowly. Questions are natural for young species. We've prepared a small gift, Han said, offering a datapad. A collection of Earth music and art. We thought you might enjoy learning about our culture. Ixar took it with three-fingered hands. How quaint. Across the room, Kim Neri watched carefully. She wore a formal dress instead of her usual lab coat, but the small device in her purse was pure science. It recorded all alien communications in the room. Admiral Park stood by the door with other military leaders. His eyes never left the aliens. They brought more ships, he whispered when Han walked past. 20 now in orbit. Han nodded slightly. Keep smiling, old friend. Later, in a private meeting room, Han sat across from Ixer and 3 other alien representatives. The terms of the protection were being explained. You will provide mining access to your moon and outer planets, Ixer said. We will give you faster-than-light travel technology in 50 years if your development continues well. 50 years is a long time, Han said calmly. For beings who live as briefly as humans, perhaps, said a blue-skinned alien. But the Council thinks in centuries. And what about our own space program? We have plans to reach Mars next year. Ixer made a dismissive gesture. That will be unnecessary. Council ships will handle space travel for you. Han's phone buzzed. A message from Kim. Come to the base immediately. Please excuse me for a moment, Han said, bowing. In the basement lab, Kim and Park waited. Kim's face was pale. Look at this, she said, showing Han her computer. I've decoded their ship communications. They've done this to 7 other worlds in the last century. Look what happened to them. The screen showed images of planets being stripped of resources, native peoples working in mines, dying forests and polluted oceans. They call it the standard resource extraction pattern, Park said grimly. They take everything valuable, give nothing real in return. Han felt cold anger rising inside him. And if we refuse? They've discussed that too, Kim said. They would normally threaten military action, but something about Earth concerns them. What? Han asked. Us, Park said with a small smile. Humans. They think we're unusually aggressive and unpredictable. They call us dangerously innovative. Han thought for a moment. Can we beat them militarily? Park shook his head. Not directly. But Kim has discovered something important. Kim pointed to pieces of alien technology on her desk. Their technology is advanced that follows predictable patterns. We've been developing in a completely different direction. Some of our approaches actually work better than theirs, but they've never discovered them. Like what? Han asked. Their shields are energy-based. Ours use quantum principles they don't understand, Kim explained. We could surprise them. Han nodded slowly. I need to return before they get suspicious. Back in the meeting room, Ixer looked impatient. Have you considered our generous offer? Han straightened his back. We appreciate the Council's interest in Earth, but we need more time to consider all implications. Ixer's face hardened. Time is not a luxury you have. Our observation posts will be established tomorrow. Your answer is needed now. Observation posts? Han asked. Orbital platforms to monitor Earth's development, said the blue alien. For your protection, of course. Han recognized the threat. And if we refuse? Ixer stood to his full height. No protected species has ever refused. It would be unwise to be the first. As Han left the meeting, he knew Earth faced its most important decision ever. Submit to slow exploitation or risk the wrath of advanced aliens. Prepare the emergency meeting, he told his assistant. All world leaders. Tonight. The emergency meeting room was filled with worried faces. World leaders from every major nation sat around the large round table. Screens on the walls showed the alien ships in Earth's orbit. They're moving into position, Admiral Park said, pointing to the largest screen. Those aren't just ships. Their weapon platforms. Han Jiwu stood at the center of the room. We have until morning to give our answer to the Galactic Council. I've shown you all the evidence we've gathered about what their protection really means. The President of the United Federation stood up. If we refuse, they could destroy our cities from orbit. Millions would die. We don't know that for certain, Han replied. We've detected something interesting in their communications. They seem afraid of humans. This caused surprised murmurs around the table. Kim Neri stepped forward with her datapad. They call us unpredictable and dangerously innovative. They don't understand why we developed certain technologies in ways they never considered. The Chinese premier spoke next. So what are our options? Submit or fight? Both seem like bad choices. Han nodded. That's why I suggest a third path. We neither submit fully nor openly defy them. We appear to accept some terms while secretly preparing. Admiral Park shook his head. That's too risky. We should show our strength now. He pressed a button, and the screen changed to show hidden military bases around Earth. We've been preparing for possible alien contact for decades. We have weapons they don't expect. Weapons that haven't been tested against their technology, the European president said. Actually, they have, Kim said quietly. Everyone turned to look at her. The scout ship that crashed 3 months ago. We've tested our systems against their materials and energy signatures. We have advantages they don't know about. The room grew silent as everyone considered this. How many ships do we have that could fight them? Asked the African Union leader. 57 combat-ready vessels hidden in underwater and underground bases, Park answered, plus defensive systems on Earth and the Moon. Just then, a message appeared on all screens. Supreme Delegate Ixer's face looked down at them. Your time for discussion is over, he said. Our observation posts will be deployed in 6 hours. Your answer is required now. Han stepped forward. We're still considering your generous offer, Supreme Delegate. Different nations have different opinions. Ixer's eyes narrowed. This is inefficient. The Council expected a unified response. Earth has never been unified, Han said. We are many peoples, many voices. Then you must learn unity under Council guidance, Ixer replied coldly. The observation posts will monitor your progress. Any attempt to interfere with them will be seen as aggression. The screen went black. They're not observation posts, Park said angrily. They're weapon platforms. They'll control everything from orbit. The room erupted in heated debate. Some nations wanted to submit, hoping to gain time. Others wanted to fight immediately. Han raised his hand for silence. We must decide as one world now. For the first time in human history, we face a threat to all of us. Kim spoke up. If we submit, we lose everything slowly. If we fight recklessly, we could lose everything quickly. But if we fight smart, her eyes showed a fierce intelligence. The Japanese Prime Minister stood. I vote we reject their terms and defend our world. One by one, other leaders stood, until the whole room was standing. Han looked around at the determined faces. Then it's decided. Humanity will chart its own path among the stars. Admiral Park smiled grimly. I'll prepare our forces. When they try to deploy those observation posts, they'll get a surprise. As dawn approached, humanity prepared for its first interstellar conflict. No one knew what would happen next, but they would face it together. Morning sunlight sparkled on the ocean as Han Jiwu walked into the meeting room. Supreme Delegate Ixer and 3 other alien representatives waited impatiently. You have kept us waiting, Ixer said. The Council does not appreciate delays. Han bowed slightly. I apologize. Important decisions take time. And what has Earth decided? Asked the blue-skinned alien. Han straightened his back and looked Ixar directly in the eyes. Earth respectfully declines your offer of protection. We wish to join the galactic community as equals, not as a protected species. The room grew very quiet. Ixar's scales seemed to darken with anger. No species has ever rejected council protection, he said slowly. This is unprecedented. Humans often do unprecedented things, Han replied calmly. It's in our nature. Ixar stood to his full height. You do not understand what you are doing. Without our protection, you are alone in a dangerous galaxy. We've been alone for thousands of years, Han said. We've survived. Ixar pressed a button on his wrist device. The observation posts will be deployed immediately. For your own safety. Han's phone buzzed. A message from Admiral Park. Ready. We would prefer if you didn't place weapon platforms in our orbit, Han said. Ixar's eyes widened slightly. They are observation posts, not weapons. We both know that's not true, Han replied. Please withdraw your ships from Earth's orbit. The blue alien laughed. Or what? You have no power to stop us. In his command center deep under the Pacific Ocean, Admiral Park watched the alien ships on his screens. They were moving into position to deploy their platforms. Are Kim's shields ready? He asked his second-in-command. Yes, sir. All ships are equipped and ready. Park took a deep breath. Launched the solar guard. Across Earth, hidden bay doors opened in mountains, oceans, and deserts. Sleek ships rose into the sky, their hulls gleaming. These were humanity's secret defense force, built over decades using technology no other species had developed. In the meeting room, Ixar received an urgent message. His confident expression changed to confusion. What are these ships? He demanded. You have no space fleet and our records. Han smiled slightly. We prefer to keep some things private. On the main screen, they could see human ships rising to meet the alien vessels. The alien ships fired energy weapons, but the beams bounced off invisible shields around the Earth ships. Kim Neri watched from her lab, her hands clasped tightly. Her quantum shield design was being tested in real combat for the first time. The Earth ships didn't fire back. Instead, they released small devices that attached to the alien vessels. Suddenly, the alien ship's lights flickered and went out. What have you done? Ixar asked, his voice shaking. Energy dampening field, Han explained. Your ships are disabled, not destroyed. No one has been harmed. Ixar stared at the screen in disbelief. This is impossible. Your technology is too primitive. Not primitive, Han corrected. Just different. We took a path your scientists never considered. Within 30 minutes, all Council ships were disabled. Earth's solar guard surrounded them, ready but not attacking. Han faced the aliens again. Here is Earth's counteroffer. We will help you return to your homeworld safely. In exchange, the Council will recognize Earth as a sovereign, independent world with all rights of a full Council member. The Council will never agree. The blue alien sputtered. Then the Council will need to explain how a primitive species disabled their entire fleet without a single casualty. Han replied. I imagine that would be embarrassing. Ixar's anger seemed to fade, replaced by something new. Respect. You are indeed an unusual species, he said quietly. I will take your terms to the Council. As the aliens left to contact their leaders, Admiral Park's voice came through Han's phone. We did it. Han looked out the window at the sky. No, my friend. We've only just begun. The huge council chamber fell silent as Supreme Delegate Ixar finished his report. Hundreds of alien representatives from 17 species sat in curved rows, looking down at him with disbelief. "Impossible," said an elder Meridian, his tentacles waving angrily. "How could primitive humans defeat our ships?" Ixer's scales had lost their bright color. His defeat had cost him much respect. "They didn't defeat us. They disabled our ships without harming anyone." "That's worse," shouted an Axelon representative. Her metallic skin flashed with lights showing her anger. "They made us look weak." News of what happened at Earth spread quickly across the galaxy. On planets under Council protection, people began to whisper, if humans could stand up to the Council, maybe others could too. Back on Earth, Han Jiwu worked day and night. Earth's sudden victory had brought both opportunity and danger. "The Council is divided," he told world leaders in an emergency meeting. "Some want to crush us with a bigger fleet. Others want to study us. We need to use this time wisely." Kim Neri had become a global hero. Her quantum shield technology had saved Earth. Now she worked with scientists from all nations to improve their defenses. "We need to share our technology with other oppressed worlds," she suggested during a private meeting with Han and Admiral Park. Park looked surprised. "Why would we help potential competitors?" "Because we need allies," Han said. "Earth alone cannot stand against the entire Council if they unite against us." Han's brother, Ju-guk, entered the room. Unlike his serious diplomat brother, Ju was charming and adventurous. He ran a trading company and had contacts throughout Asia. "I have an idea," Ju said with a smile. "Let me take a small ship with trade goods to nearby star systems. Official diplomacy will be wash, but traders can go places diplomats cannot." Han thought about this. It was risky but clever. "The Council might try to stop you." Ju laughed. "They'll have to catch me first." 3 weeks later, Ju-guk's ship, disguised as a simple transport, landed on Venar, a mining world under Council control. The native Venari, tall beings with 4 arms, worked the mines day and night, sending resources to Council worlds. "Just a humble trader," Ju told the Venari leader in a secret meeting. "Looking for new markets." The Venari leader looked suspicious. "Council rules forbid us from direct trade with non-Council species." Ju smiled. "Yes, I've heard humans are not allowed to trade here. Good thing I'm not selling human goods." He opened his case to reveal technology that looked Meridian in design but contained human improvements. "These mining tools work twice as fast as Council tools," Ju explained. "And they don't report your production data back to Council monitors." The Venari's eyes widened. "How did you get these?" "Let's just say humans are good at improving things," Ju replied. "And we believe everyone deserves freedom to trade." As Ju established underground trade networks, Han worked through official channels. Earth demanded a seat at the Council. Many species opposed this, but some saw opportunity in human innovation. On the Council homeworld, Supreme Delegate Ixer faced growing criticism. "Humans must be controlled," argued the Axelon leader. "Their technology could upset the balance of power." "Perhaps we should learn from them instead," suggested a Meridian elder. The debate grew heated. For the first time in centuries, the Council could not agree. The stable power structure that had controlled the galaxy began to crack. Kim Nari, watching reports from Council worlds, turned to Han. "We didn't just reject their diplomacy," she said quietly. "We're changing the entire galaxy." Han nodded. "And we've only just begun." 6 months had passed since Earth rejected the Council's protection. The world had changed. New factories built ships and weapons. Children played with toys of the Solar Guard ships. Everyone knew the names Han, Park, and Kim. In his office overlooking the ocean, Han read reports from across the galaxy. His brother Ju had visited 12 worlds, building a network of allies and trade partners. The door opened and a tall, thin alien entered. Unlike the reptilian Ixer, this being looked almost like a tree, with bark-like skin and small leaves that changed color with its mood. "Ambassador Han," the alien said in a soft voice. "I am Talon of the Volari." Han stood quickly. "The Volari? Your people were thought to be extinct for 2,000 years. Talon's leaves turned a deep purple, not extinct, hidden. We watched the councils rise to power and chose to disappear rather than submit. Why reveal yourselves now? Han asked. Because of you, Talon replied. Humans have done what no species has done in millennia, challenged the council, and survived. Han offered Talon a seat. What do the Volari want from us? An alliance, Talon said. We have knowledge gathered over thousands of years. You have courage and new ideas. Together, we could change the balance of power. Han called an emergency meeting. Admiral Park, Kim Nari, and world leaders gathered to meet the Volari ambassador. This could be exactly what we need, Han told them. The Volari are an ancient race with advanced technology. Park looked suspicious. Why should we trust them? They'd been hiding for thousands of years while other worlds suffered under council rule. We did what was necessary to survive, Talon explained. Now we see a chance for real change. What exactly can you offer? Kim asked. Talon touched a device on his wrist. A hologram appeared showing ship designs and weapon systems far beyond Earth's technology. Knowledge, Talon said simply, in exchange for alliance. The leaders voted to accept the Volari offer. Within weeks, Volari scientists worked with humans to build new ships and weapons. Meanwhile, in the council chamber, the divide between factions grew deeper. Humans are spreading dangerous ideas to protected worlds. An Axelon leader shouted, "Trade that breaks our rules. Technology that hides from our sensors. Perhaps our rules need to change," argued a Meridian elder. Many worlds grow restless under our protection. The Supreme Council leader, an ancient being from the first council species, raised his hand for silence. For the first time in our history, the council cannot agree. This is dangerous. The Axelon faction stormed out of the chamber. That night, their ships left the council homeworld. Back on Earth, Admiral Park's fleet had doubled in size with Volari help. He stood on the bridge of his new flagship, watching ships train in formation. His second-in-command approached with an urgent message. "Sir, we've detected a large fleet leaving Axelon space. They appear to be heading toward systems where Ju-Kuk has established trade networks." Park immediately called Han. "The Axelons have broken from the council. They're moving against our allies." Han was in his lab with Kim and Talon, studying Volari technology. Kim had noticed something strange in the Volari designs, hidden programs she couldn't understand. "Admiral Park says the Axelons are on the move," Han told them. "We need to prepare our defenses." Talon's leaves turned a deep red. "This is troubling. The Axelons are warriors, not diplomats." Kim pulled Han aside. "I need to speak with you privately. I found something concerning in the Volari tech." Before she could explain, alarms sounded throughout the base. On all screens, reports showed the same thing. Axelon ships had attacked 3 worlds friendly to Earth. The galaxy, balanced for thousands of years under council rule, had begun to fall into chaos, and humans were at the center of it all. The emergency lights cast red shadows across Han's face as he studied the star map. 3 friendly worlds now burned under Axelon attack. Ju-Kuk had barely escaped the first attack, his trading ship damaged as he fled to warn others. "The Axelons are targeting anyone who trades with us," Han told the emergency council. "This is no longer just about Earth. It's a galaxy-wide conflict." Admiral Park entered the room, his uniform torn and dirty. His face had a fresh cut across his cheek. "What happened?" Kim asked, rushing to help him. "Assassination attempt," Park said grimly. 4 aliens with Axelon weapons attacked my shuttle. We stopped them, but 3 of my guards died." Han's face darkened. "They're targeting our leaders now." Kim pulled Han and Park into a private room. "I need to show you something about the Volari technology." She activated her computer, showing complex code patterns. "These hidden programs don't match the rest of their systems. They're designed to activate later." after we've built everything. What would they do? Park asked. I'm not sure, Kim admitted. But they could take control of our ships, our defenses, everything. Han looked troubled. Why would the Volari help us only to betray us later? I don't know, Kim said. But we need to be careful. In his private quarters, Talon communicated with other Volari through a secure channel. The humans are more clever than expected, he reported. The woman Kim has found our control systems. This complicates the plan, replied another Volari. The humans must remain focused on the Axelon threat while we complete our preparations. I will ensure it, Talon promised. Across the galaxy, the Shadow War expanded. Axelon strike teams attacked human allies. Human ships rushed to defend friendly worlds. The Meridian faction of the Council tried to broker peace, but neither side would listen. On the mining world Venar, Ju Huck helped the local people prepare defenses. His trading ship, now repaired, was loaded with weapons instead of goods. The Axelons will come here next, he told the Venari leader. They know you've been trading with Earth. We will not submit again, the Venari leader said firmly. Better to die fighting than live as slaves. A young Venari approached Ju. I found something strange, he said, showing a small device. It was hidden in the Volari technology you brought last month. Ju examined it carefully. His years as a trader had taught him about many technologies. This is a tracking beacon, he realized. And it's not human or Axelon design. He immediately contacted his brother. Han, I think the Volari are playing both sides. They're tracking all our movements. Back on Earth, Han confronted Talon. Why did you put tracking devices in the technology you shared? Talon's leaves turned yellow with surprise. For protection. We needed to know where our technology went. And the hidden control programs. Kim asked, stepping forward with her evidence. Talon's leaves darkened. You weren't supposed to find those. What is your real plan? Han demanded. Before Talon could answer, alarms blared. On all screens, reports showed Axelon ships approaching Earth in massive numbers. The largest fleet yet, Admiral Park said, rushing to the command center. We need to deploy everything we have. Han looked at Talon with cold eyes. We'll finish this conversation after we deal with the Axelons. As Earth's ships moved to defend their homeworld, no one noticed small signals passing between Volari devices across human space. The hidden programs began to activate, waiting for the perfect moment. The Shadow War had become a direct assault, but the true enemy remained hidden in plain sight. Humanity faced threats from all sides in a galaxy now fully in chaos. Earth's ships formed a defensive line as the massive Axelon fleet approached. Admiral Park stood on his flagship's bridge, giving orders to his captains. This is the moment we've trained for, he told them. Today we fight not just for Earth, but for all worlds that want freedom. The Axelon ships were huge and heavily armed. They outnumbered Earth's fleet 3-1. In normal circumstances, humans would have no chance. But these were not normal circumstances. Han Jiwu worked frantically to contact other worlds for help. Some promised ships, but they would arrive too late. We need to hold until help comes, he told Park over the secure channel. The Meridian faction is sending ships to stop the Axelons, but they're 2 days away. We may not have 2 hours, Park replied grimly. Kim Neri had not slept for 3 days. She worked with her team to counter the Volari hidden programs before they fully activated. Their code is adaptive, she explained to her exhausted team. It changes faster than we can block it. Talon remained under guard, refusing to explain the Volari plan. You cannot stop what is coming, was all he would say. In deep space, Ju Hyuk raced toward Earth in his trading ship, now armed with weapons. He had gathered ships from 6 different worlds, a small fleet of traders, miners, and refugees who wanted to help Earth. We're too small to fight, his first mate said. We're not coming to fight, Ju replied with a smile. We're coming to deliver a message. The Axelon fleet entered Earth's solar system, their weapons charged, ready to destroy the human ships. On the lead Axelon ship, Commander Xerex watched the human fleet with disgust. These primitives think they can stand against us, he told his officers. Today we will show the galaxy what happens to those who disrupt the natural order. As the fleets moved closer, something unexpected happened. On every ship equipped with Volari technology, both human and Axelon, systems began to fail. Engines shut down, weapons went offline, and communications died. In her lab, Kim saw what was happening. It's not just our ships. The Axelons are affected too. Suddenly, new ships appeared at the edge of the solar system. They were unlike any ships seen before. Smooth, almost liquid in appearance. Volari ships, hidden for thousands of years. Talon smiled as his guard's attention wavered. Now you understand, he said. The Volari never wanted alliance. We wanted chaos. Han grabbed him. Why? What do you gain from this war? While you and the Council fight each other, we return to our rightful place, Talon explained. The Volari ruled this galaxy before the Council existed. We will rule it again. The Volari ships moved toward both fleets, weapons ready. They had manipulated humans and Axelons into battle, weakened both sides, and now prepared to destroy them all. Admiral Park saw only one option. He opened a channel to the Axelon commander. Commander Xerex, I propose an immediate ceasefire between our forces. We face a common enemy. Xerex was silent for a long moment. Explain. The Volari have betrayed us both, Park said. They planted hidden programs in technology they shared. They want us to destroy each other while they take control. Why should I believe you? Xerex demanded. Because right now, your ships are failing just like ours, Park replied. And Volari ships are moving to attack us both. As if to prove his point, the first Volari ship fired on an Axelon cruiser, destroying it instantly. On Earth, Kim had a breakthrough. I can't fix the Volari sabotage, she told Han. But I can use it. If we reverse the control signal, we might be able to use their own technology against them. Han looked at the tactical display. Human and Axelon ships drifted helplessly as Volari ships approached. Earth's allies were still days away. Do it, he said. It's our only hope. The fate of not just Earth, but the entire galaxy now rested on Kim's desperate plan. Kim Mary's fingers flew across her keyboard. Sweat dripped from her forehead as she rewrote the Volari code. If this works, she told her team, we'll turn their control signal back on them. Outside Earth's atmosphere, the situation grew worse by the minute. The Volari ships moved in perfect formation, attacking disabled human and Axelon vessels. Several ships on both sides had already been destroyed. Admiral Park had managed to get emergency systems working on his flagship. He watched as Commander Xerex's face appeared on his screen. I never thought I would fight alongside humans, the Axelon commander said. And I never thought I'd be glad to see Axelons, Park replied. Can your ships still fight? Some. We have backup systems the Volari didn't know about. So do we, Park said with a small smile. Let's use them. The working human and Axelon ships formed a new defensive line. They were few, but they fought with desperate courage. The Volari, confident in their victory, were surprised by the resistance. On Earth, Han Juwu faced Talon. Your plan is failing, Our species are working together now. Talon's leaves darkened. It doesn't matter. The Valeri waited 2,000 years. We can wait longer. You won't have to, Kim called from her station. It's ready. She activated her program. The signal shot from Earth's communication array, spreading to all ships with Valeri technology. For a moment, nothing happened. Then, one by one, the Valeri ships began to drift. Their perfect formation broke apart as their own technology turned against them. It's working, Kim shouted. The same backdoor they built into our systems exists in theirs. In space, Admiral Park saw his opportunity. All ships target the Valeri vessels. Fire at will. Human and Axelon ships attacked together. The Valeri, struggling with failing systems, couldn't defend themselves effectively. At that moment, Jukuk arrived with his small fleet of allies. Ships from 6 different worlds joined the battle, targeting the Valeri. Sorry we're late, Ju told his brother over the comm. We brought some friends. The battle raged for hours. Many ships were lost on all sides. But slowly, the combined forces gained the upper hand. The Valeri flagship, largest of their fleet, made a final desperate move. It headed directly for Earth, weapons charging for a planet-killing strike. They're going to target the surface, Park shouted. All ships, stop that flagship. But their ships were too far away or too damaged to intercept in time. Kim watched the approaching Valeri ship on her screen. The signal isn't affecting their flagship completely. They must have better protections. Han looked at the approaching doom, then at Talon. Can you stop this? Why would I? Talon asked. Because if Earth dies, you gain nothing, Han said. But if we survive, there's still a chance for peace, even with the Valeri. Something changed in Talon's expression. He took out a hidden device. This will send a shutdown code to all Valeri ships, even the flagship. Why help us now? Han asked. Because you offered peace even when facing destruction, Talon said. In 2,000 years, no species has done that. The Valeri flagship froze in orbit as the shutdown code reached it. Its weapons powered down. Days later, representatives from humans, Axelons, Meridians, and Valeri met on Earth. It was the first truly equal meeting of species in galactic history. The council system is finished, said the Meridian elder. What will replace it? Han looked around the table. Something new, something equal, where no species rules over others. It would not be easy. Centuries of distrust could not be erased in days, but it was a beginning. As Han watched ships from a dozen worlds in peaceful orbit around Earth, he thought about the strange path that had led here. Humanity had rejected diplomacy and thrown the galaxy into chaos, and from that chaos, something better had a chance to grow.